What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you to talk to you about your 5 worst characters in Dragon Champions and how we can make them better. Got a special guest tonight, and that would be Bonez88. If you have not checked out Bonez88, his link is going to be right up there in the description. He is just starting out, so get over there, show him some love and some support. He brings a lot of good things to this game. He looks at the game a little differently than I do, and it's really cool to see. So get over there and help him out. And if you're just finding me for the first time, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications, all that good stuff that goes along with it. Now, when we do this, we're just talking about how we could improve their kits, their character makeup, not to make them OP, because it's super easy just to say, give them this, 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 and this. That's not what we're doing. We're just trying to make them viable characters. So that's kind of how we're going over it. So here it is. Enjoy it and have fun. All right, everybody. First off, got a huge shout out. Big guest here. I have Mr. Bonez88, part of the XMG family. Bones, say hi to everybody.
What up, guys? Zary, thanks for having me, man. It's an honor. I'm excited to be on here, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for taking the time, joining me. You know, you're putting out some good stuff. So tell everybody, what do you got going on your channel? What are you working on?
Well, I've been busy this weekend, but I got a lot of guides coming up. I'm trying to do a lot of legendary guides and maybe kind of how to not use legendaries and just, I don't know. I'm still throwing it around, but I'm going to try to start on one tomorrow or the next day and see how that one goes. And if that goes well, I'm going to do it for all the legendaries. And then I'm going to also sprinkle all kinds of just, every time I think of something, I just sit down and try to do it as soon as I think about it. So I have a lot of like on the fly videos, and I also don't do just Dragon Champions. I do a little bit of Grand Arena and Galaxy Heroes, and I'm trying to like stream other games like Fallout and just the other games I like to play. So I got a lot of stuff to plan. It's just having the time to do it, you know.
Absolutely, and man, I got to tell you, you got some really good stuff going on over there. I watch everything you post. I got the notifications on, so you know, just I was a big Galaxy Heroes guy too.
I appreciate everything you've done for me, man. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing it, you know. And I know everyone knows that's watching right now, but if you're new, like, this guy's the godfather of Dragon Champions, man, and he's a great guy. He's helped me out a lot, and like I said, it's like an honor to be out here. So I used to watch you a lot way before I used to watch you a lot, but way before I even talked to you, you know. So it's just crazy that we're doing this now. So.
Hey man, that's awesome. You know you're more than welcome anytime, man. I appreciate you, and me and you've had our conversations for a long while, man. So anything I can do to help out, you know I'm here. So it's great to have you on. I'm excited for it.
And like I said, XMG represent. You know, if you're new and watching this video for the first time, go join that Discord. It's great. Well, if you're new to the game, we'll help you out, and everyone's super friendly, and it's like family there. It's a good time, and I just love sitting there and talking to everybody, you know. So if you're new to the guys, like, you know, watch his videos, watch Zary's videos or XMG. Like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't really know what direction to go with this game, and I may have ended up quitting or something. But his videos are really good too. I'm giving you a plug too, but I mean, once again, it's just going back. You know, I appreciate you. You know, everything you did, man, helping me out.
Hey, you're more than welcome, buddy. More than welcome. So, Bones, I had you on today because what we're going to do here, man, is I did the poll where they had the 5 worst Dragon Champions, and all the viewers out there voted. We had a ton of votes, and they came in with Sinjil, Shaolin, Vorian, Robin Bad, and Old Lore. And you did a really good job about making a worst characters in Dragon Champions list, and I watched it, and I was like, yeah, we were pretty close. So I thought this would be a good chance to have you on. So what we're going to kind of do, if it's all right with you, we're just going to start with Sinjil, which was the number 5. We're going to go down the list, and we're just going to kind of read over the kits. And I got the screen mirrored here, so if you want to see stats or anything like that, just let me know. I'll pull them up. And then we're just going to talk about how we can make them better, man. Just not OP, just how we can make them somewhat viable in the game.
Okay, all right. Well, Is it alright if I go ahead and start?
Yeah, man, go for it.
I started out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, Sinjil, I said it in my video. It's probably one of my most hated characters, just because how I don't hate him because like the model or anything. Like I wish he was good, and
Agreed.
but he's just squishy, man. That's where
Yeah.
it comes. Like he doesn't survive long enough before you can even put a lot of his regenerations and other things on. And here's one thing I want to say about all these characters we're about to talk about is it comes down to their stats almost. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of there's a couple that are just straight trash, but there's 2 or 3 that I think that if their stats were just higher, that they would actually be pretty good. So
Yeah,
But,
that's the
like-
that's the big thing with me too with Sinjil is his stats. You know, like he's like you said. I mean, you nailed it. He's super slow. Number one for a healer is just ungodly slow, and then his health and shield combination is downright terrible. Like you said, he can't. His whole kit is based off of kind of the regeneration, and he doesn't survive long enough to get any of that up.
Yep. And I just every time I ever used him, he's the first to die, and he used like one AOE and he's pretty much dead. And I just, like I said, I want to like him if they just gave him a little rework. I don't think his kit is almost like I said. I don't know there's just some things you don't like in his kit. So I don't really have much to complain about his kit. It's just once again come down to the stats, and he just needs to have more health. And I kind of like his regeneration move. And now, is regeneration based on your health, or is it the same amount no matter who caps it?
You know what? I've asked that question, and I can't give you a straight answer. Like I tried researching it. Beadragonchampion.info. Actually, you know what? I got to go back and check there since Noth started running it. He's put up a lot of good stuff. I'll have to go back and revisit it, but I do believe it is on the magic power versus like it was some long complicated thing, and I never really, to be completely honest, understood it. So I'll see if I can find us an answer. If I do, I'll let us know.
I kind of feel like it goes off your health because whenever he puts regeneration on, it doesn't seem to do much. So that might just be me, but because when like I don't know, Renara's not that she doesn't have that much defense, or she doesn't last too long, but her regenerations are crazy. So I don't know how to base that.
That's true. And I gotta. The only thing really about his move kit, like his passive isn't bad. Magic damage increased by the regeneration on allies. I'm good with that. His healing heals the target ally, 320, applies regeneration. I'm good. Second ability stacks regeneration to the lowest health ally. Pretty good. But the part about the only thing really about his kit is, level 6 here. We're looking at like 190 magic damage. Not bad for a healer. I mean, you're not really looking for him to do a lot of damage. But why is he inflicting burning?
Yeah.
Like, where is that coming from? Like, on his basic, if they took the second ability here, where, he applies 2 stacks of regenerations to 3 allies with the lowest health for 2 turns. Now, if they took that second part onto his basic, where he put a regeneration on the lowest health ally on his basic instead of his burning, what do you think about that? I think that would really improve him, besides, like, obviously jumping his health and shield combination.
You're right. And, like, that's the same with some other ones I was looking at for this video, and there's just, like, little tiny tweaks you can put, like you just said, to make them not OP, but just maybe usable. And it's something I don't think too hard they could do, They don't have to change, when they're, like, going in to change a portrait or something.
Yeah.
They don't have to, just, like, kind of tweak and say, you can call it a little rework, and everyone's going to be like, oh, that's awesome. They reworked this character, and it's never going to be a negative thing, especially when they're terrible characters that no one likes anyways.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want these characters to be OP. I just want them to be usable. Like Sinjil, like you said, I don't hate the guy. It's just he's terrible. And then,
but as far as him, that's about all I have to say about him. I mean, once again, like just better stats, honestly, and then just the little things, like you said, that one little change in the basic. But besides that, I mean, he could be decent, but he's not.
And hey, when we were talking here, I went over to badc.info, And I looked under the buffs, and it's there. Regeneration restores 10% of health at the start of the turn. So I'm assuming it's based on their health. So the maximum total health, 10% of that is what ticks when the regeneration goes off. So there it is.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
That's what I kind of thought too.
Yeah, it wasn't as complicated as I thought it was going to be.
Because they never seem to do much. Like once again, his kit looks pretty cool, but whenever he would do it, it didn't seem to do much.
Right. Well, it's probably because he can't get up enough of them on time. You know what I mean? He's slow, and he just can't get enough up to make a difference.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, we got Shaolin now.
Yeah, we're up to Shaolin, man. We got the Kung Fu Panda himself. You got his kit? You want me to break it down his kit, or you
okay,
kind of we're rolling?
Here's the thing about Shaolin is I honestly haven't used him much. You know what I mean? So but once again, I was kind of looking around and at his stuff and what they could do better, because they're just all the other pandas are better than him. So up his damage percentage on the ability Strike of the Seven Chefs. So I'm not sure which that ability is.
That is his third ability, and I couldn't agree more. Why is he only doing 100% damage? That blows my mind. I don't understand that at all. You know, I mean, you got AoEs doing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So and I think maybe he wasn't even good when it first came out. I mean,
no.
I guess whenever there was all these really good characters, but I guess it still didn't matter because he wasn't even good when the game came out. Yeah. So up in the damage percent and like maybe even add some healing, just because like if you add little tiny healing thrown in like every one of the pandas kits, like maybe they wouldn't need a healer. So like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of just put little tiny. If each one had like a little tiny healing ability or something. So like with Shaolin, like they need a healer. I'm sure they're gonna release one. They're not gonna remake him and then make him the healer. But that's how I kind of just feel. Not with just Shaolin, but all the pandas. It's just like throw a little bit of healing synergy in there. And and just overall, it comes back down to stats. Like it's okay if he's squishy, but he's supposed to be someone that's putting out a lot of damage. So, where's the damage at?
Yeah, I agree. You know, and he does have the healing on his basic. You know, and I got it pulled up here, but if the target's health is below 50%, but so why does it got to be below 50%? Let's just take that part out and say he recovers 10% of his health
and his
physical damage. You know, like that would make a lot more sense. Like that part I didn't get. And another thing,
like you said, it's kind of like an unnecessary clause that if you just took that out, it would be once it and like upped it just a little bit, it'd be a lot better.
I agree, and like his passive, you know, increases his accuracy. I get it because he's doing multiple attacks, right? But accuracy really does nothing in this game. The accuracy rune is just terrible. You know, so he's getting 15% accuracy, and then he's getting an additional 5% for each living panda in the party at level 6. So what if they did increases the accuracy by 15%, and then he's receiving 5% extra damage for each living panda in the party?
Yep.
Because that would just bring it up 25%. His base damage, you know, physical damage in the game is still really, really low. I think he's like bottom quarter of the game. So it's not going to put him like over the top to do crazy amounts of damage. But I think that could really help him out, because like his squishiness, like you said, that was a great point, doesn't make a difference, because he's supposed to be squishy. He's a damage dealer. You know, he's kind of like that glass cannon, which is fine, but if to maintain that glass cannon, you got to have the damage output, and he doesn't at all.
Yep. And like you said, like what is accuracy? Like you couldn't give him a little bit something better. Like no one really cares about accuracy. Of course, they needed a little bit to land the hits, but I don't know. Like you kind of said, they could have, I think, put something better, even over that. But win some, lose some.
Right. Like I give him the 15% accuracy, because it's really not going to make a difference, in all honesty. But then the little damage input, or you know, give him. He has 2 moves, like his second move.
Yeah.
He attacks an enemy 3 times. Each attack deals 80% physical damage. Why 80? He's supposed to be a damage dealer. Like, make it 120. You know,
Yeah.
he just needs kind of like a complete overhaul, in my opinion. I mean, his stats, he is slow as all could be, you know, but most damage dealers aren't relatively super speedy unless you're like a Thelaine or, you know, top end character. But the fact of the matter is all of his hits, I mean, his basic at level 6, 270, okay, that one's pretty good. But then 80 or 140, I'm sorry, it's 140 at level 6, but still, that should be like 200. It's his second ability. It's doing less damage per hit than his basic. I'd rather just attack with his basic.
I mean, I do like the idea of him hitting several times. It's kind of cool. You know, not very many other people do that.
No,
it just doesn't work out because of his stats.
Yeah, I agree, because like he's single target, like damaged multiple attacks on a single target. There's only like 2 other people who are doing it in the game, so it could be cool. And the pandas don't have, you know, crazy damage in their lineup anyways. I mean, Rin does pretty good damage. Lake can do damage if it builds up properly, you know, but that could really help out the panda faction quite a bit. I mean, Ember does pretty good damage if you ruin her right, but he could be interesting if they just did those little tweaks. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's what I said earlier. Just like a lot of these just need little tiny tweaks, and they're actually pretty good.
Well, I think the next one might be a little bit of a challenge for us, because that would be Void Trickster.
Okay, so my question with him is, when it comes to landing poisons, does he need a high potency to be able to land those?
Yeah, it's a debuff mechanic. So I asked Lizard Breath about this a while ago, right? So even if it just says, you know, will land, it still is considered a debuff. So it still goes through the one solitary potency tenacity check. Now, if it was like an 80% chance, it would go through 2 of them. Like the first initial roll to see if it was going to land. And then the second roll is your potency versus their tenacity. So he has 0 potency. That's my big problem with him.
And what I was going to say is he needs potency. Yeah. And that's what a lot of his kit is based off the poison. The poison debuff alone, that's what a lot of it's surrounded by. And like, are you on double dose? Like if they raise that, what is it? Double dose where it says, I thought like 50 to 60 or 100% or something more than 25%.
Right, you're sinking
not, it doesn't have to be 100%,
scrolls.
like something way higher than 25.
Right, I couldn't agree more. You're sinking 100 blue scrolls in this character to get a 25% chance. Why even level it? Because I mean, at level 2, I'm getting a 10% chance. I don't got to put in any blue scrolls at all. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me why it's 25%. And is that nobody else in the Pride puts on damage, right? I don't think so. Or puts on poison.
It's pretty boring to play with them.
Yeah.
So you have to do a lot of revives to keep them alive even.
Keeping him alive and impossible.
Sorry. So the basic ability too. If you go to his basic real quick.
Yeah.
And then go to tier 6. Okay. Why does it have to be 80% chance? Just he lands poison for the target for 2 turns when he does it.
Right.
I mean, 80% chance is a good chance, but just like that extra 20% where he just makes it 100% of the time would make him a little bit better as far as, because his target is revolves around this poison, so he might as well. It's still better if you can land a poison no matter what on the. And something about Dragon Champions, when you play the computer, they get luckier than you do a lot of the times. So you'll find yourself missing that poison more than you think.
Yeah,
and healing isn't that prevalent without Renara, so like, what's this guy? He's like trash, you know what I'm saying? So whenever someone's like really bad, I just say add some healing to help the team, you know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with some healing. So, maybe heal somebody when you remove some poison or something, I don't know, or heal yourself or something. And then once again, his stats are terrible too. So
yeah, they are.
This guy's pretty much trash.
Yeah, in his third ability, right? His piercing poison, right? It's level 6, 320 piercing damage is pretty dang good. But then it removes 3 stacks of poison from the enemy, dealing 100% piercing damage for each stack removed. Piercing damage ignores armor, right? Well, why is it only 3?
That's a pretty good move.
Yeah, but I mean, he has low potency, right? So you're gonna have problems sticking it. It's not like the Pride is a big poison faction. Nobody has poison besides him. So why isn't it for every stack removed, it deals 100% more damage? Because you're never gonna get up to 7 stacks.
And that move right there, that move right there, if that's what you're saying they should do, that move right there would almost be worth it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
It's hard to get him to even put stacks down because you have to have high potency, which he doesn't have much of, and then his kit is also you're not guaranteed to land poisons. So that move would be a lot better if, like the change you said, plus on top that you're guaranteed to put poisons on the other moves. Then he would be crazy.
Yeah.
So,
or even if they left his potency where it was and somehow worked in a potency increase, like he could give himself a potency increase. If it was like a move you pop.
That's a great idea too.
Like I hate the moves like Sergeant Pigwald has that charge move where he wastes a whole move to give himself more damage. Right? I hate that. But what if like on his basic, even on his basic where he was 100% chance to inflict damage or inflict a poison, and what if it was like a 40% chance to give yourself potency up? It doesn't have to be crazy, but like a 40% chance to do it.
Yeah.
Then he's getting an additional 30% potency. Because even if you ruin him all potency, you're still at like 40% potency. So it wouldn't be crazy to work that into his kit where he could give that to himself. Like maybe
that's a very good idea, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with him. Like maybe work it into like he doesn't have any other synergy with the Pride. Like Kagi and Boris have their little synergy. You got Hera and Salvador. He doesn't have that synergy with anybody else. So maybe if this person, like on his passive, if Yogi was on the battlefield, he received potency up. Or, you know what I mean? Something like that.
That's a really good idea. And so I guess just that talk right there with you kind of makes me higher up on him. Like if they just, like we talked about the last couple of characters, tweak his kit a little bit. And just his stats a little bit, and he could be a very viable person in the Pride.
Yeah.
Just
and actually, his kit itself, like if you read his kit, just blindly read his kit before looking at any of his stats, it sounds fantastic. It sounds great. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna have poisons all over the place. I'm gonna be doing crazy amounts of damage. And then you see his stats and you play with them, and you're just like, oh my goodness.
And also like his model, just like the way it looks the badass too. Like,
I love the lizard look.
Cool.
Yeah, he's dripping poisons, and I love the little Easter egg of the card there for like the, he got the playing card that he's the trickster. Like,
oh, I've never seen that. I didn't know that was there.
When I like first started this game, I was like, this guy's gonna be awesome. I am gonna work on this guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm getting one shot by like level 30 mobs, and I'm like, well, screw this guy.
Yeah. So. Playing Galaxy of Heroes and the other ones, I knew kind of to start asking, around like who to stay away from. Because to me, it helps me more to know who to stay away from than who like the top characters are. So and they're like the number one person was like Voyron and Rob and Bad. Is what they always tell me to stay away from.
Yeah, you know me, I got sucked into Robin Bad too. I was like, oh, this guy could be pretty good. Loathe of my existence. But yeah, no, like when I started, I was Galaxy of Heroes all the way. Played the game since launch, and I thought I had a good understanding of the hero collector. I've been playing Marvel Strike Force for close to a year. Took some time off with that game, but back at it, and just the way his kit read, I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome. Because when I first started this game, we didn't have like the Be a Dragon Champion.info. Wasn't up yet. You couldn't see his max stats. So I was like, all right, It's too bad because Vorian could be really, really good with some minor tweaks. So we're saying with Vorian, we're gonna give him some more potency. You know what? You know what I was thinking about him too, because he's like the lizard, and I forgot this. I was gonna see what you thought about it. What if you worked in like an invisibility mechanic with him? You know what I mean? Like if he would guaranteed to land a poison if he was invisible, because he's like the rogue. He's the trickster. You know what I mean? And I know nobody in the pride gives invisibility, but I think that would be pretty cool if he was under invisibility, guaranteed to land the poison. I think that
makes
would
a lot of
big.
sense.
Yeah, that's
he
the other
looks like
idea.
a stealthy kind of guy. So,
Right. Yeah, I mean he's got the trickster in his name, exactly. So he could you know, maybe like they give him this second move here where he deals, because this is what I was thinking, and tell me if I'm crazy. He deals a crazy amount of damage. Deals 420 if the poison, the target is poisoned. Poisons the target for 3 turns. Like, okay, what if they took down the physical damage? Because you don't want to leave the physical damage that high, I don't think. They took that down a little bit, and then they said, gained invisibility, guaranteed to land poison for 3 turns. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah.
Because then it would help his survivability so much, because he's super squishy, so it kind of takes 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing.
And the move's called Sneaky Maneuver, so that would make
I didn't even notice that, but yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, man, I mean, just changing little tiny things like that. Once again, what we've said wouldn't make them OP. It would just make them fun to work with, and it would change things up.
Yeah, I agree 100%, All right, so there's Vorian. So up next, we have just the man we were talking about, Mr. Robin Bad himself. Now we have Robin
The one
Bad.
and only.
Yes. If you just read the storyline, you think he's the best character in the whole game. This guy's super cool to use. No. So what do you got about this guy?
I'll be honest, I skipped through it all. I haven't read anything. Is it pretty good? The storyline?
To me, it's not like the best storyline I've ever read in a game, but they made this. They had a writer actually write the story, and they really sometimes try a little too hard to interject humor. But I think in the long run, I think it was really well done. I mean, this was a group of 5 people when the game first launched, so they're going to tweak it as they go. And the Runic Journey was a little bit better because they actually had a writer set. There was a little more of the story set, but I read it just in case if people ask me about it. But it's not the best thing in the world, but it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, and they kind of just stand there, right, and talk to each other. That's the story. So that's what they do on the other games too. So so in order to see the beginning content, can I just go back and play it, or do I need to start like a new account? Or can I go back and see what content they're talking about?
No, you can go back and like in the beginning when they do like the tutorial, you'd have to start a new account for that. But to just hear like voice acting, you can just go back and just replay the campaign.
Do you know what's different about the tutorial? What they changed?
I haven't started a new account yet with that. Because what I'm going to actually do is I had the free-to-play series, I kind of got away from that because everything going on in my life and stuff like that. But when they make that push for new players, I'm going to remake a beginner's guide for that, and then I'm going to actually kind of just start up a generic account and kind of walk through it and see what's different. But I haven't touched it yet. I haven't had time. You haven't either, I take it?
I'm sorry. I didn't hear the last part.
Oh, you haven't. You obviously haven't started a new account and checked it out yet either, huh?
I haven't, but I've thought about doing it just for the same reason, like you said, like kind of maybe doing free-to-play videos, because I've never spent on any of these kind of games, but Dragon Champions is the first one I have, and so I'm not gonna lie, I'm not free to play anymore because I've spent money on it. So I kind of want to like you were doing. I kind of want to do the same thing and just kind of actually go all the way free to play, so I can kind of see it from their eyes. Because sometimes you're like, well, just do it with this person, and everyone's like, well, I'm free to play. It's not that easy, or right. So I want to try to do it with the least amount I can and do it free to play. So I am definitely thinking about it, and it's also more content to put out.
Yeah, and you know what?
Okay,
I'm
well, I
kind
guess we
of.
kind of got off, subject there. But,
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we should probably bring that back in. And no
so
worries.
okay, so I'll start. So like Ramen Bad,
Yeah,
the
you
ability
go.
Yo Mama, which is, I'm sorry, Zary, what'd you say?
Oh, I said you go for it because I could talk for hours on this guy. Yo Mama's the second
Oh,
ability.
okay, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, the Yo Mama one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, instead of this is the little things like instead of 40%, make it 100% to get crit chance increase. You know, also maybe change the kind of racist. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say they're racist, but it kind of seems like "yo mom" is a weird thing for him to say. But
He does kind of
but
talk like
anyways, you
that
can
during
cut
the
that out if
story
you
though.
need to.
Yeah, but yeah, the
Do
storyline
what?
the storyline he does kind of talk like that, but he's a big
Oh, does he? Okay.
yeah, he's talking
See,
about
I
drinking all the
haven't watched
time and
anything.
womanizing, and so it kind of fits like his
Okay,
kid
see,
there. Yeah,
okay. So his name's Robin Bad because he's a bad guy, not because he's he is a terrible character, but not because he's bad. See, I thought that's why they named him Robin Bad because he
yeah,
was straight from the get go known as like the worst character in the game when it first came out.
yeah.
Okay, so ability Yo Mama, make it 100% instead of 40%. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I looked over it, but I've never used this guy. So a lot of his kit is about critical chance and critical damage and all that.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so once again, similar to the Voiran kit, it's based off percentages of it landing. So just make it guaranteed.
Yep.
Don't he's not very good as it is. So having a guaranteed debuff or a buff for himself or whatever isn't a bad thing. Especially
Right.
when you're a glass cannon or something, you're not going to last too long. So it's not like
Right.
you're going to keep on doing it. So maybe added this spell. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to think of things, random things you can add in there to make him more useful. And
Yeah.
added this spell. He needs a little bit more speed. He has no health. Like it comes back down to his kits. I mean, does he hit pretty good? I mean, I've never played with a Gear 11 Robin Bat. Do you know anyone that has one?
I do on the test server, and that's about it. He
And
really
he's still pretty trashy.
he when I did the noob series, the first guild I ever got in this game, the guild leader, she was awesome, and she's like, "You have to do Robin Bad for noobs. You have to." And I'm like, "I hate that character so much. I don't want to do it." And she was like, "No, you have to do it." And I actually found out he really wasn't as bad as I thought. He's still bottom barrel, like a common character. But he's not trash. Like everyone's like, "How come you didn't put Robin Bad in your worst characters?" Because the ones I listed are worse than Robin Bad. Robin Bad's basic ability is actually really, really good because he gives himself counter chance, but his ability cannot be dodged. So like when Buff came out, right? I was trying all these different things with him against Buff. He just doesn't survive long enough because that Buff can't dodge him. No matter how much dodge Buff has, if you just keep basicking him with Robin Bad, he can't dodge it. This attack can't be dodged. So I would like to see him like build off that mechanic more about how it can't be dodged. Like he is one of the only characters too in the game that gives you a crit damage increase. So really, like when I built him all critical chance. Like just give this guy critical chance, damage, speed, survivability, right? I mean, he gains a critical damage increase to all allies. And then Robin Bad gains a damage increase for 2 turns, and then all allies recover 20% of their turn meter. Cunning Fox, that's a good move.
It is, yeah.
But what the part that bothers me is, like I said, this does really. I mean, you're feeding turn meter to your allies. You're giving yourself some buffs, but you're doing nothing really more than that. So, like, I don't like those moves because essentially he's such a glass cannon. If you can get this move off, right? Because you can use it on your second ability, which is cool. But he doesn't last that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So when
I
so
like
when he
this.
does land that move, is it decent?
Yeah, I mean, if he gets that critical damage up with the damage increase, he does pretty decent damage on an undodgeable move. I mean, at 270 on a
Right.
basic or 260 on a basic is nothing to like snub at, you know. But
Yeah.
the Yo Mama move is just, to me, is just terrible. Like you said, his
Yeah.
basic is 260. His AoE is
Yeah.
270. We're seeing AoEs with 400 damage, and I'm not saying he should be a legendary character, but why isn't that like 320?
Yeah.
You know?
You kind
And
of have to like even with the worst character, you kind of have to give them something, a little bit of strength, a little bit of usability. And that's why
right,
we're talking about these characters because they're pretty much all unusable.
right.
And
Yeah.
you
And
know,
like you said,
it's
the 40% chance for a crit chance increase, well, how about you make that 100%? Or if you want to leave the damage at 270, why not make it to all enemies instead of 3 enemies? Do it to all enemies.
yeah,
And I would be okay if they took out that crit chance increase. Like if they say they left it at 270, right? And they made it an AoE to all enemies. And then he has, you know, where it says he has 40% chance to gain a crit chance increase. Leave that alone. Take that right out of there and say this move is undodgeable. If his whole kit was undodgeable,
yeah,
that would be sweet. You know, still leave him kind of glass cannonish. Leave the damage right where it is so he's not doing crazy amounts. Maybe bump it up to like 300, but have it be an AoE and then it's not dodgeable again. Like that would be, I think that would take him.
and that's a good idea because then you would think of him as like a sharpshooter or something, like he never misses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that kind of character. So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And the crit chance at the end of once you do that move, that critical chance isn't going to do you any good anyways because you're going to be dead or
Exactly.
So you need to have the critical chance increase on another move that you used earlier if you're
Right.
going to do it that way.
And then,
So yeah, there's a lot of problems with this guy.
yeah, and his passive. The last thing before we move on from Robin Bad, his passive drives me insane. Okay, at level 6, he has 25% chance to counterattack enemies, plus 5% for each living human in the party. That's it. Doesn't increase his damage, doesn't do anything. But who's your only real human lead? Solius. He's already given counter chance. So essentially they're saying, all right, you know what, he's going to have counterattack 100% of the time. Awesome. But he doesn't. You hit him 3 times with a freeze art or something, you know, and he's dead. So what the hell does that do for you? Like, I'd like to see him, maybe if they said, you know, this left, it has 25% counterattack to enemies, right? So, okay, then you put him with a Solius lead, he's like 50, 60%. And then maybe 5% health for each living human in the party. So just to give him just a little bit more survivability, so 3 hits isn't going to take him out.
And then tie like a critical chance buff into that or something.
Yeah, like if he falls below
passive,
50% health, he gets, like, I usually don't care for moves like that, but the lower health he gets, the more damage he deals, like a Mar in there, that might work out.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what else to say about this guy. He's
Not
just
too
terrible.
much more.
But you're right, the kit is pretty decent, though.
Yeah, I mean, the undodgeable basic's awesome. It really is. The only undodgeable move in the game, I believe.
That's cool.
That's something they could work off of. Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's the easiest thing that they could do. I mean, it'd be cool if they remade these, did a little remake because all you're doing is pulling up some bars or, some stats. And that's all they do. You don't have to change. They're trying to are they trying? Do you know if they're trying to revamp all the portraits and all the character models? Are they going to try to do that eventually?
Yep. They yeah, and when you if I'm not saying when, or I'm misspoke. Holy crap! When you get into the game changers, not if. When you get in there, you'll get access to the chat, and in the chat is where they bounce ideas off of us and stuff like that. And Lizard Breath said in there that they will eventually do the whole, all of the characters will be reworked, because somebody brought up like, hey, you should just redo all of elves so they all kind of look similar at once and then have it go kind of back and forth like that. And she said, yeah, we're going to eventually redo it. And so they are going to rework them.
That's cool.
Because they really putting some nice touches on people.
I mean, and that's harder than changing stats and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're completely redoing the computer model. So I mean, if you're going to do that, when it comes down to these crappy characters, you might as well make the tweaks. Like, I'm not saying they have to do a worse thing, but do some tweaks on them and make them more viable. So you're going to remake them anyways, model right. So it makes sense. So we're on old lore. Huh?
Yeah, this is the number one character. And you
old lore is probably the worst character I've.
I agree. Yeah,
he just needs a complete overhaul. He does. His synergy is with elves.
Yeah, against elves. Yeah, yeah. Deals 30% more critical damage for each living elf in the enemy's party. Yeah,
that's still terrible. It is still terrible
because
yeah. I was reading it as in the party.
So
no. So it makes it even worse, honestly.
Yeah, I did that with Wonder Lua's kit when they first released Wonder Lua. I did that with her kit because I thought it was demons, like allies, and it was demons in the other party. So don't feel bad about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Either way, it's terrible.
It is. It's absolutely.
So what's the chance you're going to be going against an elf? I mean, I guess maybe in battlegrounds or something.
I guess, but I'm not taking goblins up against a Thulane-led elf team.
Yeah, because they're crazy in our offense.
Yeah. No way. But yeah, so where are we going to start with this guy? What would you do?
He's really slow too, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think his max speed stays the same. I don't think his speed increases as you gear him. I think he stays 144.
That's crazy. So yeah, I mean that's never a good thing. That's the problem with Diesel Wrong too. I think he's really slow, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things I didn't like about him was he was too slow.
Yeah, he's crazy slow.
So click on this triple strike ability.
Oh. Triple strike. There you go.
I just think it's trash.
Yeah.
Make it so you daze him or something. Because is there daze in some more of his kit?
Yeah, it's in his basic.
For some reason, I thought they should add a daze to that.
Yeah, he has a. Well, let's see. A dazed target will receive 340 physical damage.
Okay, well, you have to have a way to apply daze, and I'm sure he has another move where it does that. But
no, he doesn't. He doesn't have. If Dr. Frank has daze, and that's it.
So yeah, you have to have.
Oh, right here, triple strike. Daze is the target for 2 turns if all 3 strikes hit the target.
Okay, but I mean, I just, if it's going to be obviously just like Voyran, it was poison. Well, with him, it's kind of like dazes too. So same kind of thing that we're talking about with Voyran. You got to kind of add maybe more dazes, better chances to land them. And so if it's going to be revolved around that, you need to be able to apply them. So he doesn't have very many chances to do that. And so, that makes it kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I mean, and then I say this about everyone, that's just the case, his stats aren't the greatest. And, I don't know, what else do you think, man?
Well, old lore, I looked it up. He has 119 speed at gear 11. 119.
Okay.
So that's terrible.
Yeah.
Now, if they wanted to work off the daze mechanic, like my big thing with the triple strike is, it starts on a 1-turn cooldown. Well, it should be able to be used right away, I think. I think that would help him out quite a bit. If you came in with the triple strike to daze the opponent, that would make him more viable with the Goblin faction as a whole, because then if Dr. Frank assists, then he's calling in 2 more goblins to assist, right?
Right.
That would be huge, in my opinion. Then you could come back and use your basic on the second ability, right? I think that would be a lot better. Making that cooldown right off the bat.
With some of these kits, it's like with some of these kits, they kind of put the abilities in the wrong order in which they can use them.
Right. I mean, and some of the reasons, like, I get it, they don't want you coming right out of the gate and blasting opponents. But he's so slow at that point. I mean, some characters can lap this guy if you don't put any speed on him. And then, for me, the big problem here is this is kind of the move I was talking about. Preparation. Gains a critical chance increase, potency increase, accuracy increase for 2 turns, and then recovers 50% of his turn meter. So essentially what they want you to do is you pop this right away, right? You use this move first, so you're increasing your accuracy, your potency, so that days will stick, because you're giving yourself 50% turn meter. Then you could use the triple strike on the 1 turn cooldown. I get it. And then you go to your basic. So you're kind of going like 3-2-1 with this guy. But the problem here is the 50% turn meter. You know what I think would make him really good too is if they just said recovers 100% of his turn meter.
Yeah.
Because he's slower than hell anyways. So he pops this move when he finally goes. He gets to go again right away to do that daze mechanic. That would be good. Or leave it at 50% and then maybe make that triple serving a no cooldown. And like, and then like you said, it's passive. I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
I like that idea of it being you just get another turn. It's 100% turn meter because that's not a huge deal. You know, there's a lot of characters that do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're if you're playing with buff, you're pretty much getting 2 moves in a row because he's swapping turn meter.
Yeah.
So you put him with Mor'Doom, it goes buff, Mor'Doom, buff, essentially. So he's getting pretty much 2 moves in a row too. So I don't see a big problem with that, and I think it could make him a little bit more viable, give him a little bit more health. Like maybe put the health or the shield. You know what'd be kind of cool, and I was thinking about him to make him a little more viable too with the Goblin faction is Frank in the shield, right? Maybe tie in some damage to the shield. Like the more shield this character has, the more damage he deals. So Frank's trying to keep him alive, and he's constantly putting on that overshield, and it can build and build and build. I don't know exactly how that would work, like a programming end, because I don't know how it's calculated, but I think that would be super cool if the more shield this character has, the more damage he deals.
Yeah,
I think that would help.
Add like just some random thing that like if you're in a team with Dr. Frank, he seems like somebody that would be like his assistant or something. I mean, I don't think it's in the lore. But, which is weird, his name's old lore. But he just looks like he could be his assistant or something to do with Dr. Frank. So that I think that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah, get rid of the elves in the enemy's party and maybe give him like a flat 10 or 15% extra health, and then he deals 1% more damage for 1,000 shield or something. I think that would work out so much better for old lore.
That passive is. I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, he's got 2 moves essentially that do absolutely nothing, because this move here, the preparation, he's going to use it, and then by the time he gets to go again, he's usually dead, because his health and shield combination is just it's really really bad. 42,000 health and shield combination without runes. I get it, but man, that's brutal.
Yeah, and that's what it keeps coming down to. They're overall, it's just their stats stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, and I mean,
too bad.
Right, if they don't want to give him the speed, give him a little bit more speed. Just make that preparation, give him a turn again. Boom. And then it's on I think it's a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, it's a 3-turn cooldown, so that would tick away the cooldown, so to essentially bring it down to a 2-turn cooldown. If he makes it 5 or 6 turns, you're doing okay. But he's not going to make it 5 or 6 turns the way he stands now.
Yep.
So you got anything else on this guy? Or I think we kind of beat him.
I don't think so, man. He sucks.
Yeah.
That's what we came down to.
Yeah. So that was all 5, man. So I got to say, I like what you're talking about. Like my big thing was a lot of these characters was simply just the stats. Like, all right, let's give this guy some, the stats, but we kind of thought outside the box there, and that's kind of what I like. And I think anything we talked about isn't going to make these characters completely overpowered. It's just going to make them viable, maybe be used.
Yeah. If they're viable, people will put resources into them. It's just, I think even the worst, you're always going to have the worst character. There's always going to be, you can't be. There's always but you can at least make it to where they're good somewhere. Where make it to where they're good enough to where you or the player will be willing to put resources into them eventually. And,
Exactly. Yeah, it's not going to be your first gear out of the Goblin faction, but if it came down between him, maybe Major Shot, and Pigwald, if you're seeing some synergy with Dr. Frank or something like that, you might put some time into him.
Yep. And they could also do things like, I think, Galaxy of Heroes is doing this thing where they just release one character, but it makes a crappy team or a certain amount of people really well with her only. Otherwise, so I mean, that's kind of an extreme way to do it, but down the road, if you get enough like crappy characters, they could release a character that brings them all together and makes them good. And I don't know. That's just one of the things they could do, but I definitely rather than just do exactly what we said through this and just kind of remake them whenever they do the model, and they'll be viable eventually. Because a lot of these guys I like the look of them, I like the idea of them, and it's just they need that remake, that rework.
Yeah, and we're coming up on the year of this game, so now I'm to the point where reworks can start happening. Like I got asked this, who would you rework? And the game was like 3 months old. I'm like, nobody. It's way too early. You got to have your bad characters, but at the same time, you don't want to rush out a rework. But I think we're to the point now where, all right, now it's time to start, getting a little reworking on these.
Yeah, because the in-game players are getting to the point where they're just leveling everybody up. So give them a reason to level that one up. Because even if you have no one to spend your resources on, I'm not putting anything into these guys. I just don't want to do it.
No, me neither. I'm right with you. And, yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I wish I had everything I put back into Robin Bad, And I mean, you get Old Lord pretty early. You get Vorian the Trickster pretty early. So you got to put a little into them, maybe get them up to gear 4. And that's not going to kill you. But if you sunk big time scroll investment into Robin Bad or Shaolin, oh man, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, and ability blue mats aren't easy to come by.
Oh, absolutely.
So, if I put that, there's some really good characters that I won't put. Like, there's somebody that's really good, but they had like a leadership that sucked. I didn't put anything into that because I don't use them as a leader, and so that's how precious the ability blue mats are. So if you put a lot of ability blue mats into a crappy character, oh man.
Yeah, and I'm right with you about the leadership abilities like Laval. I didn't put a single blue scroll into Laval's leadership because I'm not going to use it right now. So why?
That might have been the guy I'm talking about. That might have been the exact character I was thinking of.
All right, so that is what we got. We kind of recapped all of the top 5 worst characters in Dragon Champions voted on by you, the viewers. And once again, just want to thank Bonez88 for coming on my channel here, spreading his knowledge, just showing some love and some support. So in the beginning and the end of this video, everybody out there, I will have a link to his channel. So please go over there, click that subscribe button for him. Bones, anything you want to say to the XMG family before we depart?
All I want to say is I love you guys, man. Zeri, I appreciate you so much having me on here. I appreciate everything you've done get me started on these videos. And, you guys come, his link on the Discord for XMG, add that because I'm on there. I'm always talking. It's just a good time. Like I said in the beginning of the video, just come join it. And I also have my Discord if you come to my channel, and you can find out when I stream and stuff like that. But, when I say XMG represent, and,
that's right, buddy. Well,
come join the Discord and hang out with us.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing great things, and in the Discord is a link to your videos and things like that. So if you're not sure, you missed the hyperlink I'm going to put up here, go to my Discord, go in there, jump into his Discord. We have some good conversations, good talk, and Bones, I can't thank you enough, man. You are getting better and better with each video, so you just keep up your hard work, and if there's anything at all I can do to help you out, you let me know.
Thanks, Aaron. I love you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love you too, buddy. So there it was. There was kind of the discussion with Bonez88. Again, if you are not subscribed to him, link up there one more time. Go to his channel, subscribe, check him out. He has been a member of the XMG family for quite a long time. And again, for me, if you are just finding me for the first time, click that subscribe button, notifications, all that stuff. To all the XMG family members out there, I love you. Thank you for all the feedback you're giving me about the music, the lighting, stuff like this. It's just helping me be a better content creator. So I love y'all. See you in the next one. I'm out.